Welcome, dear students. I hope you are fine, everyone. Happy to see you all back in today's session of English. Everybody is fine? Busy typing their names in the chat box. Am I audible, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Hello, Rajnandini. How are you?
Fine, sir.
Hello, Piyush. How are you, dear? Shreyas.
Fine, sir.
Welcome, Aryan. How are you? Aryan Kataria, Aryan Bakle. How are you, both of you, dear students? Fine? Ghanshyam, Nishan. Everybody's fine? Be responsive. Just don't be quiet in the session. This is an interactive session, my dear student. Or shall I just record and share with you the link of YouTube? That's it. No comments. Am I audible, everyone? Say something here so that we can start.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, good. So we are studying today, the remaining part from our textbook in English. What is the textbook in English for class 9? Beehive.
Beehive.
And this is page number 6. And the title of the text is My Childhood. And you know that this is all about our former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, the great scientist, missile man, also known as. And this is an extract from his autobiography, Wings of Fire. So we studied in this that he was born into a middle class Tamil family. In which town? Rameshwaram, that time Madras, Chennai, and which state? Tamil Nadu. His father's name was Jainulabdin. He had not completed his education, nor he had much wealth, but he possessed great innate wisdom and a true generosity of spirit. And as his father was also a great person, his mother was also his father's good helpmate, Eshiamma, who used to serve and feed food more outsiders than all the members of their family. And then Dr. Kalam explains about his childhood that he was a short boy with rather undistinguished looks, born to tall and handsome parents. So how were his parents? Very tall and handsome, but he is a short boy. That time he was in his childhood. And then he describes about his house, his home, that it was their ancestral house. It was built in the middle of the 19th century. It was a fairly large structure house made up of limestone and brick on the Mast Street in Rameshwaram. And then he again explains about his father that he was simple but strict and severe because he used to avoid all inessential comforts and luxury and used to provide all the necessities. And so last time in previous session we had discussed at the end that why he said that his childhood was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. So I would like few of you to say something about this, and then we will proceed with the next page. So please answer. Dr. Kalam said that his childhood was a very secure, both materially and emotionally. I had also told you my point of view about it, and we had left this question unanswered for you to think over it and then respond. So come on. There are 21 students, but only 7 of them have put their names in the chat box, or all of them. Please ensure that your name is there in the chat box. Anyway, Pranav Chaudhary, please say your answer about this. That Dr. Kalam said that his childhood was a very secure childhood, both materially and also emotionally. Pranav. Madhura, Satyaki, Sanskruti, Jami. Please say your answer. Pranav, you are simply saying yes, sir, but saying nothing here. Unmute yourself and say your answer. Pranav. No? Welcome, Harshvardhan. Is this Harshvardhan Kumar? Hey Harshvardhan, can you answer that Dr. Kalam said that his was a very secure childhood, both materially and emotionally. Can you please elaborate? You are being so quiet, dear students, not interactive at all. Talk, dear students, unmute yourself and say whatever you think. Put up your views here. Shreya, Saili, Satyaki, Sanskruti, Rajnandini, Madhura, Pratham, Pranav, Piyush, Nishant, Kushal, Harsh, Ghanshyam, Gayatri, Dev, Athar, Aryan, Wakle, Aryan Acharya, Arya Kharde. So many of you are here, so brilliant students, but being very quiet today and saying nothing. Come on, respond. Hello, you are putting in the chat box. Say something to yourself. Hey, Tamanna is there. Welcome, Tamanna. How are you? Tamanna? Dear students, am I audible or not? Or you are saying something but I am not getting you. What's the problem? Avishkar is not there. I am really missing him. If he was there, he must have said something. You are really keeping quiet. Ghanshyam? Nishant?
Yes, sir.
I am audible. You are audible to me. Then why is there communication gap? Did you not understand why Dr. Kalam said that his was a very secure and materially, both the way he says, and emotionally, childhood. Why does he say so? Nishant.
Sir, because his parents fulfilled his all necessary, his parents gave him all necessary materials, and he also felt nothing to tell everything to his parents. That's why emotional also.
Yes, very good. Here you will find that necessities were provided for in terms of food, medicine, or clothes. And so, materially, we can say his childhood was a very secure childhood. And emotionally, because his parents were the most loving, and he also never hesitated to share with them anything, any issue, any problem, any good thing or bad. He was there to share with them without any hesitation, very freely, you know. And that way, he was in a comfort zone there under his parents' love, guidance, and shelter. Let's see now what happens then as he was growing. Was his childhood really was like that only as it was, or there were some changes? So this is now, dear students, page number 69. You please open your textbook and be ready there on page number 69. Paragraph number 3. The Second World War broke out in 1939 when I was 8 years old. For reasons I have never been able to understand, a sudden demand for tamarind seeds erupted in the market. I used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision shop in Mosque Street. And dear students, you have studied in history also. I am sure that the Second World War broke out in 1939, and that time he was just 8 years old. When was he born? If he was 8 years old in 1939, when was he born?
1931.
1931.
Yes, this is pre-independence period or post-independence period of India.
Pre-independence period.
Absolutely. Who was ruling that time? Our country.
Britishers.
Britishers.
Yes. And so England, as was the part of Second World War, our Indian people were also support and they were also supposed to provide the necessities, the required things in the World War. And all of a sudden, there was a great demand for tamarind seeds in the market, because of World War. The tamarind seeds were used for some purposes, even I don't know. Anybody of you know why were the tamarind seeds used that time in the market? There must have been any use or misuse, we can say, and it must have played some role in order to, make some weapons, or it must have played a role of fuel, or some of the other way it was helping, and so there was a great demand in the market. And that time, what did Dr. Kalam did? He used to collect the seeds and sell them to a provision shop in a mosque street. And there, everywhere around in his town, he used to wander in search of tamarind seeds. He used to collect them all from there and used to sell them to a provision shop on a mosque street, very close to or on the same way where his house located. In that way, he spent those days when he was just 8 years old. A day's collection would fetch me the princely sum of 1 anna. And dear students, we say today 1 rupee, 2 rupees, 5 rupees, 100 note, like that. That time it was 1 anna. 1 anna means 8 anna means 1 rupee. 8 anna means 1 rupee, and 100 paise is equal to 1 rupee. 50 paise. No. 16 anna means 16 anna is equal to 1 rupee. 8 anna is equal to 50 paise. Can you imagine the worth of 1 anna? And a day's collection that time was 1 anna for him. And if you have seen or not those 1 anna, 8 annas, I don't know. 8 anna is there available somewhere. 8 anna means half of 1 rupee, 50 paise. 25 paise I have seen. 8 anna I remember in my childhood, I used to buy some chocolates with 8 anna. Today, nowhere we find, besides some funeral ceremonies, and they are just distributed or thrown out on the way when person's dead body is carried, right? So can you just imagine the worth of 1 anna that time, and it was an amount he used to collect in a day, 1 anna. As the days passed, the amount or the value of money or the anna rupee decreased day by day. Today 10 rupee we find very less amount. 100 rupees little worth. 1000, yes, we can think of. But in future it will happen that even 10 rupee would be like 1 rupee. And after that 100 rupee would be like just a rupee. So that time 1 anna we can say is equal to today's 100 rupees, right? That time 1 anna. 16 anna is equal to 1 rupee. In fact, if we calculate, but that time 1 anna could have the value of 100 rupees today. Do you understand, dear students? Are you getting me well?
Yes,
That's
sir.
what anna. Good. My brother-in-law Jalaluddin would tell me stories about the war, which I would later attempt to trace in the headline in Dinamri. And his brother-in-law was there with him, and there he was the one who used to tell him the stories that were published in the newspaper. And later, Dr. Kalam himself used to attempt to trace those headlines in one of the newspapers. And what's the name? Dinamri is the name of that newspaper, and there he used to read those headlines. But how did it happen that Jalaluddin was reading the newspaper and also Dr. Kalam? There you will come to know the reference. Our area, being isolated, was completely unaffected by the war. But soon India was forced to join the Allied forces. Allied forces, you know that the armies of United Kingdom, that is England, USA, United States of America, and Russia during the Second World War. They were in one side, and Germany, France, and some other countries, they were in another side, and that way the war was to taking place. You know, you have studied in history all about it, and you know you have studied about Hitler also, how he played a major role in that, representing his nation, his country, Germany. And this way, when India was forced to join, because UK was ruling India, and it was for sure that India was to be the part of Second World War, if not directly, but indirectly. And so emergency was declared. It was an emergency period in India that all the services were provided to the army officers or the armies. Civilians were ignored. Civilians were forcefully made to participate in the army, to be the part of army, and some or the other way they had to participate, and indirectly India was also forced to join the World War II on behalf of Allied forces. What were the countries in Allied forces? Satyaki Bhagat, be responsive, dear students, please be talkative. Otherwise, I am feeling all alone that I am only speaking and nobody is listening. Sanskriti Firodia, you please tell me the names of the countries called here Allied forces or the armies of those countries. What are they? Are you just keeping mobile phone aside? Here I can see that you have joined and you are not at all listening only. Is it so?
No, sir.
Pratham Khandelwal, you have joined twice. Here it shows your name. Anyway, Kushal, you please answer.
Sir, UK, USA, and Russia.
Long form for UK,
United Kingdom,
USA,
United States of America.
very good. And the third country was
Russia.
Russia. Welcome, Ankush. How are you, dear Ankush? Ankush, too.
Yes, sir.
How are you, dear? I said welcome.
Fine, sir. How are you?
Fine. So late, dear, to join.
Sorry,
20
sir.
minutes has passed. Anyway, so we are studying about Dr. Kalam here. We studied about his childhood, and there the reference is about the Second World War. That time he was just 8 years old and used to collect and sell the tamarind seed because there was a great demand for it. And out of it, he used to earn only 1 anna. 1 anna is worth about 6 paise, and that is an old Indian coin. You may find or not somewhere today. And there, that time, in newspapers, the news were published all about the Second World War. And those newspapers were being read by Jalaluddin, a brother-in-law of Dr. Kalam. And he used to tell the stories to Dr. Kalam. And after listening to him, Dr. Kalam used to attempt to trace the same headlines in one of the newspapers, Dinamani. So how it happened that they were all related, or they were there with the newspapers and reading them? Let's see. Our area being isolated or completely unaffected by the war. But soon India was forced to join the Allied forces and something like a state of emergency was declared. The first casualty came in the form of the suspension of the train halt at Rameshwaram station. The newspapers now had to be bundled and thrown out from the moving train on the platform. Rameshwaram Road between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. The forced my cousin, Samsuddin, who distributed newspapers in Rameshwaram, to look for a helping hand to catch the bundles. And as if naturally, I filled the slot. Samsuddin helped me earn my first wages. Half a century later, I can still feel the surge of a pride in earning my own money for the first time. And dear students, Dr. Kalam has given an account from his childhood that how he started earning money himself without being dependent all the time on parents. And as you could understand that how because of the Second World War, the situation like emergency was declared in the state, and the first impact, even if his town, Rameshwaram, is an isolated place. It had nothing to do with the World War II, but still it affected that place by stopping or avoiding the halt that was there between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi. It was Rameshwar Road stopped between Rameshwaram and Dhanushkodi, and there the train stopped taking a halt. It was a suspension of the train halt there at Rameshwaram station, and then without taking a halt, the train was directly moving to the next station. And how it affected the newspapers that were coming by that train were thrown out in a running train. They were literally thrown out in a running train. And there, Dr. Kalam's cousin, Samsuddin, was doing that job of collecting those newspapers and distributing them door to door. And Samsuddin now needed someone's help. He wanted somebody to help him in order to collect those thrown newspapers and distribute door to door. And that was the first time, dear students, Dr. Kalam got an opportunity to work himself and earn money. And it was the first wage he earned by doing that job of collecting the newspapers at railway station that were thrown out in a running train and distributing them house to house, door to door. And after half a century, he says, 50 years passed that he stopped doing that work of collecting the newspapers and distributing. He became the great scientist, a president of India. And there he remembers the value or the feel, the surge of pride in earning his own money, the very first time in his life. Isn't it good, dear students, that you will find now that child labor, under the age of 14, no child should work. We have studied in class 8, one of the lessons, children at work. Right, dear students, do you remember? Am I right? With the title,
Yes, sir.
Children at Work, where we studied that one of the boys had run away from his home and went to Chennai only or Madras somewhere there, and she was in search of food, and there came a girl who was collecting the garbage and was selling the valuable things out of it and was earning money. Then where they had a food, and how the situation was there described in the text. But child labor, is a crime. But helping the parents is not a crime. If you are at your home, doing nothing nowadays apart from your studies, it gives you relaxation that if you are doing something and helping your parents, some or the other way. Our honorable principal man told in today's, a beautiful thoughts he had explained, I think, some mantras they gave you. Did you all watch it and listen? He told about reading, he told about writing,
Yes, sir.
he told about, doing something, and he also explained about reflection. So what mantra did he give you today? R for read, W for write, D for do, and R for reflection. So will you also help your parents some or the other way? And I'm sure you must be helping. Not now or not today, but right from your childhood. I'm very sure, because you have been a very good children here. All from educated families, well-off families, and having good manners, etiquette, and values for this. But out of poverty, here Dr. Kalam had to go out and help his parents earning some money. Because it was not the responsibility that time of his parents only to go and earn money some or the other way. But he also wanted to contribute and he had enough time to do that work. But that feel, that surge of pride in earning his own money first time in his life gives him even today a great pleasure. Even today, even after a century, half a century later. And I don't want you to go out and work, but whenever in your future life you will find your first time money earned by yourself, it will definitely help you and it will be a remarkable and memorable incident in your life, throughout your life. And that's what here Dr. Kalam told us about himself. Would you like to share any of your experience in your life like this? Being lazy makes you dull, but doing something really makes you smarter and it gives you pleasure also. So rather than just sitting and watching the movies or watching just some things on mobile, wasting your time there are number of things that you can do at your home. Even the maids are not coming nowadays. You can take care of yourself. There is no hurry. You can fold your clothes, iron them. If the need, you can help your mother in cooking. You can learn it. It will definitely help you in future also. Right? So there are a number of things that you can do. Would you like to share anything about it? Tamanna, Surbhi? Say something, yes sir I want, or sir no I don't want. Yes, Tamanna, Surbhi, Yogiraj, Shreyas.
Sir, your voice is not clear.
No, sir, I don't have anything to say.
Okay, but is my voice clear and audible, dear Tamanna?
Sorry, sir?
Is my voice audible, everyone, and it's clear? Not clear? You should tell me, dear. Just I'm speaking and you are there saying nothing. Is it clear now? Am I audible well?
Yes,
Vishal,
sir.
Pranav?
Yes, sir. You are
Yes, sir.
audible.
Okay, good. So let's move to the next part. Paragraph number 4, page number 69. Every child is born with some inherited characteristics into a specific socio-economic and emotional environment and trained in certain ways by figures of authority. And here Dr. Kalam says, every child, even Albert Einstein used to say, everybody is genius. He used to say. But if we judge a fish by his skill of climbing the tree, he himself would find stupid and would feel guilty all the time for not being able to climb the tree. I think we have discussed this thing in class 8 also when there was a lesson about Stephen Hawking. So these great personalities tell us various ways of living life in a better way. And so Dr. Kalam is telling here that he also inherited some of the qualities, some of the characteristics into his specific socio-economic or emotional environment, and it trained in a certain way by figures of authority. So how it happened and what qualities did he inherit from his parents? Let's see. I inherited honesty and self-discipline from my father. And from my mother, I inherited faith in goodness and deep kindness, and so did my 3 brothers and sisters. And these are the qualities that not Dr. Kalam alone, but his brothers and sisters inherited from their parents. What were the qualities? Honesty and self-discipline from father. His father was very honest. He used to provide everything, all the necessities, but never provided any inessential thing to the children. And that's why Dr. Kalam told us that his childhood was a very secure childhood, both emotionally and socially. And the qualities he inherited from his mother were faith in goodness and deep kindness. What's it? Faith in goodness. He believed that we should always do good, and in return, everything will be good in our favor. And he believed also in kindness. We should be always kind to everyone. And so here Dr. Kalam said these were the qualities he also inherited and his siblings, brothers, and also a sister. You can also introspect your students. The qualities you find in your father, the qualities find in your mother, you observe. Some of the other way, one or two or more than that, they are there inherited in you, those qualities. Right? Do you agree? You just introspect and try to find out some of your qualities and also of your parents. Some qualities will definitely match. That you can say you have inherited from mother or father. Understood? Getting it well, dear students? Hello? Am
Yes.
I all alone here?
Yes,
I can see there are a number of students but saying nothing. You responded. Good. Okay. So we learned about the qualities that he inherited from his parents. Then let's see more about his childhood. I had three close friends in my childhood. Now he's talking about his friends. Firstly, he told about his parents, then about his brother and sister, and also cousin, and also brother-in-law. And here, now there are friends that he remembers even after half a century later. So who are they? He told us about three friends. First, Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan Ghosh the second, and the third, Shuprakashan. So would you like to know about his friends, Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Shuprakashan? Yes or no, dear students? Would you like to know more about them or not?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So all these boys were from Orthodox Hindu Brahmin families. We can say they were all Hindu, and Dr. Kalam was Muslim.
Yes, sir.
So this shows us integrity, unity in diversity. These are the characteristics of our society in India. Our culture is like that. That people from various several religions, communities, panthas, castes, they are all living here peacefully and happily. And here is one instance that Dr. Kalam, being from Muslim family, had three important friends that even after a gap of 50 years, half a century, he remembers. And who are they? Ramananda Shastri, Arvindan, and Shuprakashan. Three of them are from Hindu families. And as children, none of us ever felt any difference amongst ourselves because our religious differences and upbringing. And despite being from different religions, they did not find any other differences between them. And the reason is there were religious differences and upbringing. The way they were developed and trained and were mannered by the parents, they never found that Dr. Kalam was Muslim and these three were Hindu. They never felt any difference among themselves. People might thought that how this man from Hindu is a friend of this Muslim and how this fellow from Muslim community is a friend of Hindu. People might have thought about it, but these four, including Dr. Kalam, never realized any difference amongst themselves. And some instances he has given here will definitely help us understand this well. Okay, so let's see more about these friends. In fact, Ramananda Shastri was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. And worshipper, the person who worships Lord God in the temple, is the priest, and he was the high priest who Ramananda Shastri's father, Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri. And he was the one, the high priest of the Rameshwaram temple. And this person, Dr. Kalam, was from Muslim family, but they were 8 very close friends. And what happened to him in future? Where he went? Later, he took over the priesthood of Rameshwaram temple from his father. And this Ramananda Shastri became again the high priest only in the place of his father, Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, and continued worshipping Lord there in the temple. Then what about another friend, Arvindan? He went into the business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. And you know, Rameshwaram is a very famous place all over the world, across the country, and many people visit it. And those people who travel from one place to another and visit the temples and the places, they are all called pilgrims. And there was the business of Arvindan's father. And he again contributed his parents in doing that business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. So that's what the second friend of Dr. Kalam, Arvindan, did. Now third, who is he? Shiv Prakashan. He became a catering contractor for the Southern Railway, and he got an opportunity to serve as a catering contractor for the Southern Railway. So this way we understood all about Dr. Kalam's three friends. So now the question for Saili Kose. Saili, you please tell me the names of three of Dr. Kalam's friends and what happened to them in future as Dr. Kalam became scientist and also the president of India. What about three of his friends in his childhood? Saili. Yes, Saili, are you saying something? We are not getting here. Saili is trying, but dear students, can you all hear her? Can you listen to her? Anybody?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes.
No, sir.
You are not. Fine, fine, fine. Akansha, I could hear you. You please continue with this answer. Name the three of them and about what were they in future. A simple question. Who are Dr. Kalam's friends and what are they?
First friend is Arvindan.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, Akansha, we can hear you.
Okay. The second.
You are not feeling well here?
Huh?
Are you not feeling well?
No, sir.
Okay, wait. You please not share your answer. Here is then Piyush. Would you like to share here, Piyush, your answer? Three names and their professions. Madhura? No? Okay, I'm telling you all again. So there were three friends Dr. Kalam had. There were few of them from Hindu Brahmin family. One of them is Ramananda Shastri, who was the son of Pakshi Lakshmana Shastri, the highest priest of the Rameshwaram temple, and later he also took over as the priesthood only of the Rameshwaram temple from his father. The second friend is Arvindan. He also contributed in his father's business of arranging transport for visiting pilgrims. And the third one is Shiv Prakashan, who later became a catering contractor for the Southern Railway. So this was all about Dr. Kalam's three friends. Here you can see, dear students, a picture given. how the people, from Dr. Kalam's family used to arrange boats for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site. Can you see these people? They are carrying. Who do you think is Dr. Kalam here in this picture? To the left hand side, to the right hand side, or in the middle? Where do you find Dr. Kalam here?
Sir, to the left hand side.
Which number? Second figure or first
Second.
one?
Second.
Very good, very good. Right, you understood it. From the costumes also, you can understand the way people put on the clothes. We could recognize him that he is Dr. Kalam. Okay? So, what is the reference of his contribution in arranging the boards for carrying idols? Let's see here in paragraph number 5 on page number 70. Are you all ready, dear students?
Yes, sir.
May I continue? Got
Yes,
that? Bored? Is this lecture boring?
No, sir.
No, sir.
I know that you have watched the video that I had shared with you. I have also written
No, sir.
the answers, and so I don't think you want my explanation, but still, to learn more about Dr. Kalam and the meanings between the lines, here I am explaining this text word to word. Fine? So the paragraph number 5a, during the annual Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, our family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord from the temple to the marriage site situated in the middle of the pond called Ram Tirtha, which was near our house. Events from the Ramayana and from the life of the prophet were the bedtime stories my mother and grandmother would tell the children in our life or in our family. Yes, dear students, there is an instance in the context of the picture given there that during the annual Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam ceremony, there is this program or a special annual ceremony is observed with the name Sri Sita Rama Kalyanam. And there, in that annual ceremony, Dr. Kalam's family used to arrange boats with a special platform for carrying idols of the Lord. Who is the Lord there? Of course, Lord Rama, Lord Vishnu, and his incarnation. And there, from the temple to the marriage site, they used to arrange the boat to carry them all to that place. And what was the name of that place in the middle of the pond? Ramtirth. And it was very nearer from Dr. Kalam's house. And in that event, or in that annual ceremony, what used to be happen there? It was all about Lord Rama and the stories from Ramayana. And also, here Dr. Kalam says that during the bedtime or at the time of bedtime, the stories that Dr. Kalam's mother and also grandmother used to tell them all were not only from Ramayana, but also were from Prophet. They were all from Quran, also from Ramayana, Mahabharata. They never tried to spoil these children with the casteism nor with the religious activities. Being from Muslim community, Dr. Kalam's mother and also grandmother, because grandmother much has not been explained, but mother, she believed in goodness, not religion, and all good things that were in Ramayana and also in were prophet were all been that time told to the children. They never differentiated that Ramayana, it all belongs to Hinduism. Why should I tell any story from Ramayana? We are Muslims. No, they never did so. And so these children were well cultured. And so Dr. Kalam told that being from Muslim community and his few friends from Hindu Orthodox families, they never found any differences amongst themselves. That was the reason. People tried to spoil them, but they did not, because they were strong with their faith in their parents. And parents also did never tell anything wrong that could make them for or against any of the religion. One example given here. Would you like to know, dear students, one example that how one person tried, to differentiate between them, but they stood together and fought the situation. Yes? Would you like to know?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here is one incident that I am sharing with you. Please listen carefully. On page number 70, paragraph number 6. One day when I was in the 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to our class. I used to wear a cap, you found him, now you recognized him in the picture. Used to wear a cap which marked me as a Muslim. And I always sat in the front row next to Ramananda Shastri. And there, where his first friend, Ramananda Shastri, used to sit, next to him only Dr. Kalam used to sit. And a new teacher who was appointed there found that a Muslim child wearing a cap he could easily recognize. And a Hindu child, Ramananda Shastri, were sitting together. And how could he recognize Ramananda Shastri? Of course, with name, and also because Ramananda Shastri wore sacred thread, moon, something that is called the thread, sacred thread. And from that he could recognize that Ramananda Shastri was from Hindu family, and Dr. Kalam, from name also we could understand, even if he was wearing a cap, he was from Muslim family. And they were friends. The new teacher could not believe, and he did not like it. So what did he do, and what happened later? Let's see. The new teacher could not tolerate a Hindu priest son sitting with a Muslim boy, because the teacher must be Hindu. In accordance with our social ranking, as the new teacher saw it, I was asked to go and sit on the back bench. And so that new teacher asked Dr. Kalam to stand up from there and go back to the another bench to sit, and not to sit with the Hindu child. He did not like it. Nor Dr. Kalam, nor his friend Ramananda Shastri. Then what did they both do? Let's see. I felt very sad, and so did Ramananda Shastri. He looked utterly downcast as I shifted to my seat in the last row. The image of him weeping when I shifted to the last row left a lasting impression on me. And as soon as Dr. Kalam was asked to stand up from there and move to the last bench, even Ramananda Shastri did not like it at all. He felt very sad, and that could be understood from his look that was utterly downcast. And also he started weeping. The tears started rolling on his cheek. And that impression, Dr. Kalam's, after half a century, he remembers, left a lasting impression on him, he says. Then that was the end? No. You should never fear injustice, and you should never tolerate anything wrong happening around, nor with you. Otherwise, being just a spectator, you are the part of it. Am I right here, students? Do you agree? If you find nearby that somebody is facing any injustice with him or her, will you stand for him or against him? For the person who is injustice or against injustice? Or you will just stand quiet being a spectator? What would you do?
Sir, for him.
For him means for whom? The person who is doing injustice.
No, sir.
Or the one who is being suffered, the victim.
Sir, who has been suffered?
Yes, very good.
Okay.
Anybody agrees that, hey, we have nothing to do, it's not our business. Let them do. Whoever is doing the injustice, let him do, and whoever is suffering, let him suffer. What are we there for? It's not our business. Will you say so? Anybody? Okay, I know that none of you say so, but if you are saying so, what are you doing? You are promoting that fellow who is doing injustice to do more, and you are also promoting that person who is the victim, that you just bear it, you just tolerate it. Means saying nothing, it means that you are supporting and promoting that injustice. And you know, dear students, that tolerating an injustice is bigger crime than the person who is doing the injustice. Right? You are bearing,
Yes, sir.
so the door is doing. If you are not if you are not bearing, if you are not there to tolerate at all, nobody can dare to do any injustice with you. And dear students, we should always stand for the victims and support them so that they can be able to muster up their courage and fight against the injustice. Right, dear students? And that's what Dr. Kalam and his friend Ramananda Shastri did. What did they do? Let's see here in paragraph number 7. After school, we went home and told our respective parents about the incident. Lakshmana Shastri summoned the teacher and in our presence told the teacher that he should not spread the poison of social inequality and communal intolerance in the minds of innocent children. He bluntly asked the teacher to either apologize or quit the school and the island. Not only did the teacher regret his behavior, but the strong sense of conviction Ramananda Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. And dear students, it happened that being the students, they could not do anything. And if they could speak, it could be little disobedient and rude from their point of view. And so they didn't do anything but simply followed the instructions given by the teacher. But after going back to home, they told everything to their parents. And then Lakshmana Shastri came, the father of Ramananda Shastri, the high priest of that Rameshwar temple, and warned the teacher that either means you should not spread at all such a poison of social inequality and communal intolerance, because these children are very innocent, their minds are very innocent, and they will learn these things, they will find the differences, they will start finding the differences between them, and that is very wrong. That is going to spoil the community and their future as well. And so, dear students, Dr. Kalam's friend's father, Ramananda Shastri's father, Lakshmana Shastri, bluntly asked and ordered the teacher either to apologize or quit the school and the island as well. That place, Rameshwaram, is an island. And after that, the impact was the teacher was scared. He realized, he regretted for his behavior, and the strong sense of conviction that Lakshmana Shastri conveyed ultimately reformed this young teacher. He was just a young teacher, had newly joined that place, had no idea, but also of that mindset, because he must have been taught right from his childhood, be by his parents or by the community, the people around. And so he could notice the differences between Hindu and Muslim. And so he did so. But later, when Lakshmana Shastri told him and on, he could understand easily. After all, he was a teacher, and there was no more intention. But it happened so casually because he was taught in his childhood, and later also the same thing, differentiating between the communal intolerances and social inequality. Right, dear students? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
You are being so low in your value, dear students. Be enthusiastic, energetic. I can understand that this is a holiday, and this is not the first holiday. I think in continuous, this is the third day that you are enjoying holiday, right? And it has made you little dull, and so you are wise. By the way, any query, any doubt? Hello, dear students. Can you please share with me any doubt, any difficulty, any problem here in
No,
or
sir.
something else you want to share? There are only 5 minutes left with us to end the session. So please share, or you want to share any incident happened with you or neighborhood or in the society like this that we have just discussed. Dr. Kalam told now that he always used to sit in the front row next to Ramananda Shastri. Can you find here in this picture, Dr. Kalam?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Where is he? From left hand side, right hand side?
Sir, left hand side second.
Yes. And in the previous also he was the second from left hand side. Good, villagers. No queries? No doubts?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, okay. So dear students, as you have read the instructions given by our honorable principal ma'am yesterday, that there will be extra lectures in English and also mathematics because the syllabus is lagging behind as compared to other subjects. What's your view? That I should continue taking lectures on holidays also? Do you agree or you object? No, sir, you don't take on holidays. We want to enjoy them. What is your opinion? What should I understand that you are quiet and saying nothing? Don't you really enjoy learning? Yes or no? Ankush, again you are supporting now them. Those who are speaking nothing, you are supporting others.
Sorry, sir.
Yes, sir.
Do you want me to conduct lectures on holidays or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Many yes, sir, are there in comment
Yes,
box.
sir.
Kushal More? No, I think we had answered long
Yes,
back.
sir.
Okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. Good, good, good. And I'm also planning, dear students. Hey, Avishkar, you joined us late here. I missed you a lot. What you were saying here? Avishkar, your voice is breaking. We could not hear you properly. But I'm sure that you must be in favor that I should conduct extra lectures on holidays as well. Very good, Avishkar. Thank you so much, dear. Now, there are only 2 minutes left. I want to ask you another question that is about on working days. May I conduct lecture 1 in the morning? I used to conduct lecture previously in the evening 1 and then I replaced and rescheduled that evening lecture to afternoon at 12 o'clock. You know that. Now I want that I should conduct English lecture in place of Hindi and Hindi should be there at 12 noon in place of English. Do we agree?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good, 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 good. Thank you, thank you. Another thing, one more. That if there is one lecture at 9 to 9:30, just for half an hour, would you like to enjoy one more session in English in the evening session by 4 o'clock or 3 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock or 1 o'clock, whatever time you tell? Yes, Rajnandini? Unmute yourself and say something.
Instead, you take for 45 minutes.
No, dear, then you don't get a break, na dear. If I start at 9 and end at 9:45, then again another session starts at 9:45 only. There should be a gap, na dear students, between two lectures.
So then take 40 minutes.
40 minutes. 5 minutes is enough. Yes, Ankush, dear.
Yes, sir.
So can you
Yes,
start
sir.
earlier? 10 minutes earlier?
Ankush, I'm not able to hear you properly. You please say loudly what you are saying.
Sir, can you start 10 minutes earlier?
Oh, I see. So you want me to start by 8:50 and 8
Yes,
by
sir.
9:30, 9:30 by 9:40. But you don't want me in the noon or in the evening, and of course not at all at night, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Everybody agrees? Fine,
Yes,
fine, fine. Okay, dear students, we will continue that way. Any other queries, any other doubts, anything else you want to share?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay then, fine. Take care. That's it for today. Thank you so much. Have a great day
There is
ahead. Bye.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir. Bye, sir.
Bye.
Yes.